Probably cardio.
This is James checking.
This is Nathan checking.
This is Riley checking. Riley check.
This is John.
This is Blue?
But
No,
that's not
your
normal-
face.
This is Blue.
That's not your normal speaking voice, though. It's,
Sorry. This is
that
my.
was put out there a little bit.
This
Well,
is my voice.
sometimes you have to put it out there. Like I definitely have to put it out there.
Winky Dwink.
We have the Dwink.
100% wheel
The
dweek.
Dwink.
And the Christmas cookies.
And the Christmas.
Yes, this is good.
We are good. Thank
I put lots of sour in it.
You're going to have to
More
make
than
one
usual.
of those for me one of these days.
I want to.
They're really not hard. You take your cup, you fill it up with ice. You do half whiskey, half sour. Tastes more like a quarter whiskey, 3/4 sour.
Did you smell it?
Yeah, what is sour?
It's sweet and sour mix. It's just a mixer.
Oh, so basically sugar.
Sugar, lemon, lime.
Kind of had a weird
Lyman.
smell. It kind of smelled
Weird
like
smell.
like a sweet and sour gym sock.
How often do you do that sort of thing?
That smelly smell.
That sort of smell. You ever smell a smell?
I can't smell a smell. Can you smell a smell?
Do you smell what I smell?
No.
Smell what I smell.
This can't. Oh, are we recording?
Yes.
Yeah, we're recording.
Can this pick up me going?
Yes, it can.
Yes.
we're
There
gonna-
are little blips on the.
I'll try to
We're
eat
either gonna-
quieter.
We're either going to cut after you're done eating or just bother people.
Ball.
Lean in. This is the ASMR episode of our podcast.
Welcome to the Christmas special of the Palladium Papers podcast. Oh man, there was a Super Bowl commercial a couple years ago. That was like an ASMR beer commercial, and I wanted to throw something at the TV. It was
Were they?
tremendously irritating.
Did they pour beer?
That was part. That was
Oh,
at the end of it. The person whispering and like tapping the glass with their fingernails was just like, ah.
The sound of pouring beer that they do in beer commercials is very nice. I like that.
That is
sound.
nice, but not leading up to that. That was very much not nice.
Not nice.
That wasn't very nice. It might have even been like Corona or something like that. I don't remember what it was, but it was just
Foreshadowing. Who knew that Corona would continue to bother us for so
an
long?
entire year before the fact. But it is not the time for bothering and mucking about and wallowing in our Rona. It is time for a cheer and jolly good joy. And
Cheers.
cheers.
Cheers. We're all too far apart to
Social
clink
distance
glasses.
stink, even though we're all in the
Social
same room
distance.
without masks.
Social distance stink, everyone.
Dink.
Ding ding.
For those of you dinking
Ding,
along
ding,
at home,
Ding ding. Ding 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 ding. Ding ding. Ding 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 ding. Ding ding. Ding 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 ding. Ding ding.
Coming to you live from the horrifically graffitied table in our basement. Not really live. This is.
Yeah, there's a lot of history on this table.
history's a word for it.
Yeah.
Ink's another word.
And
tape.
tape.
Oh yeah.
And some
Rayon.
epoxy that Colton spilled on it.
Tree.
And burn marks. It's a very strange
Bomb.
table. But yes, coming right up on that Christmas time when this episode comes
Hey,
out.
look, that '90s S or like early 2000s S. I don't know what
the
that S was.
oh,
The
it
Smash?
doesn't have the little
The Smash
the
S.
smile.
That's what that's
The
called.
Smash S. The Smash
What?
S. For Super Smash Brothers.
No,
Super
no,
Smash
no.
Bros?
This S. The
Yes.
3 lines. That is not the logo for Smash.
What am I
Bros.
thinking of?
That's
You're
the
thinking of something very
elementary
different.
school when you're like, look at me, I can make an S, $, whatever.
But there's no lines through it.
And everyone.
No.
And you make the 3
Line,
lines,
line,
and then
and
3
then you connect
lines,
the
and you
things.
connect the lines with the.
So you draw
Smash-
3 vertical lines, and then you draw 3 more vertical lines directly below those 3 vertical lines,
Then you
and
draw
then you do
two-
2 diagonal lines from left to right, connecting the 2 segments. See,
You draw one vertical line, then two vertical lines, then two vertical lines, one shorter than the other, and then one vertical line and one horizontal line.
John,
and I think I may
very
have
much
lost
knows
some of
what
our
we're talking about.
listeners.
What?
Now we
Sorry,
do.
I was like, distracted.
Well, you probably wouldn't have known what we were talking about
It-
anyway.
it-
Loss is the most common meme on the face of
no,
the earth.
No.
John was not today years old, but pretty not very long ago.
Like last week years old when he found out what loss was.
So were you for that.
That was
matter.
like 3 weeks ago.
I've
Yes.
known what loss is for like 2 years at least.
At Lil Lost.
I have
I'm
John.
pretty sure like
We literally had to explain to John 2 weeks ago what loss was because we showed him a loss meme and he didn't get it, and it wasn't an obscure one either.
I'm pretty sure that was you.
No, that was
No.
It was
John.
Legos, and I was like, a big
It was
Lego,
like a
big
Lego
Lego,
Lost
big
pun.
Lego,
You may have-
sideways Lego.
It was a Lego loss pun.
You know, I was probably responsible for educating James about loss in the first place.
that might be
and
what
that's
you're thinking
probably what
of.
I'm thinking of.
Yeah.
I think
Faith
I had
has
come
no
into
idea.
contact with it at some point before.
Nathan
Maybe-
Right.
knows
Just like
webcomics.
independent of you guys.
Yeah.
There's a couple of these memes where it's like, I will discover them independent of Riley. Then Riley will introduce them to James, and James is like, what? And then I'm like, yeah, that's the thing.
Or in our group text.
Sometimes the other way around.
In our group chat, I will post a video. Everyone will ignore it, and then a month later, somebody else will post it like they found it for the first time. Just be like, bruh. That's rough.
Brr.
Bruh.
Wow.
Wow.
Wow. There was a very strange phenomenon when I went home for my younger brother's 18th birthday this last weekend.
Yeah, how'd that go?
The party was fun, but there isn't very much snow yet this year as we record this. In Detroit Lakes, there's a big old lake, hence the name Detroit Lakes. And
That's a lot of places in Minnesota, actually.
right. But the lake is literally smack in the middle of town.
That is usually why
Right,
towns have
right.
names after lakes.
Anyway, so there's no snow, a pile of snow, and then no snow. And
A pile of snow immediately is like 70 degrees a week later.
No, I mean not chronologically. I'm talking like.
Oh, well,
So we're driving down the
spatially.
road. It's dry, no snow. There's a patch next to the lake with a bunch of snow, and then nothing after that. And I was like, that's kind of weird. I talked to my dad, and he had driven through town the night before, and he said there was no snow. It was a normal night. Drives past the lake, and there's just snow coming down like no tomorrow, like a wall of snow. Drives through it, and there's nothing on the other side. It was like this Eeyore cloud of snow right next to the lake.
That's spooky.
Yeah, a little weird.
You know
It moved.
And there was like a cutoff line too where the snow stops. It
What
was so
the heck?
bizarre. I have not had it meteorologically explained. I'm not saying it's aliens, but it's aliens.
aliens.
Audibly.
Or like
Audible gesture.
you know that gesture.
the aliens.
You've seen the meme. You know the hair of the guy in the picture. You know.
Yes,
It's like
we-
the slightly.
We're
Audible
over-explaining the joke.
gesturing to the hair.
Yeah. It's aliens.
Or like that's where Iceman awakened his powers and was like, oh, I'm a mutant. I should go to talk to Professor Xavier or something.
Mm-hmm.
Or Elsa was just letting it go. I don't know.
I couldn't find for that video. I couldn't find the original. What was it? One or whatever did the original screamy "Let It Go" cover, but I've only seen it re-uploaded, so it might have gotten like copyright struck or something.
Wait,
So down.
the
this "Let It Go," let it go.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
It's,
where he's like destroying his.
It's
throat.
been taken down a few times because of copyright.
Yeah,
But
Disney.
That's
if he's a
totally
big
fair
YouTuber, he
use.
should probably just license it and call it a day. It's probably ridiculously expensive to do that.
Well, Disney can because they can. So.
No, but I mean like license music, like
Right.
get permission, legal permission.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. It's ridiculously
You
expensive
just gotta look-
because it's Disney and they can afford it.
just look up Let It Go, Oni and Pebbles. That's it. And you'll find something.
Yeah, something.
If you hadn't already noticed, we have our faithful friend John on the show today, as well as
Faith.
Faith. Say hello to the world, Faith.
Hello, world.
Or at least 2 listeners in the
John.
world.
The 2 listeners that we have.
We are filming in front of a participating live studio audience.
Two of our 2 listeners
Yes.
are here with us in the studio.
Not the Canadian too.
Oh,
Shout out to
Hello, Canadian.
Hello, Canadian.
Thank you for listening.
all of you Canadian out there.
Mad props. And also kudos. Mad props are like angry.
And Klondike bars.
Yes.
Mad Klondike bars to you.
Yes. We are the Palladian Papists. I'm James.
I'm Nathan.
And I'm Riley.
I'm John.
I'm Faith.
Yes, this is our. We're doing things a little bit differently today. This will be coming out the week of Christmas, the most blessed time, as
It's
Charles
the
Dickens.
most wonderful time of the year.
With the copyright striking. And lawyers will call. We don't have legal representation. We're not that big.
We are not big enough for anyone to care that we're ripping off their music. No.
But yeah, this will come out the week of Christmas, and this is going to be our little Christmas special. So it's going to be a little more laid back, but we will be kind of, I guess, broadly discussing the presentation of Christmas in pop culture and how to navigate that as Catholics. So we're still on brand.
On brand.
I suppose to kick things off, name 3 of your favorite quote-unquote Christmas movies. And we're just going to put Die Hard on the table and not even discuss that because everyone talks about that debate. It's settled.
See,
It's a Christmas movie. That is the official position. I'm calling it right now. That is the official position of the Palladian Papist podcast, that Die Hard is a Christmas movie. That's off the table. Other 3 favorite Christmas movies.
All right.
Go.
Holidays.
Okay, that's one.
I don't even know that one. Are we going
It's
in
a
order?
weird claymation from mid 2000s.
Okay.
Are we-
no more.
It has Fred Savage and Oprah Winfrey,
I think
and
you
What?
mentioned this to us last
we
year.
have it here. If we, it's only like 40 minutes long.
We'll have to watch
Well,
that.
If we
Oh,
have-
It has some like fairly recognizable voice cast. So
interesting.
It's a Wonderful Life.
Okay,
Oh, that's a
it.
good one.
classic.
My favorite is probably Christmas Carol, but the one with
Muppets.
no, not that
Muppet
one.
Christmas Carol.
The
what I
one
was gonna
who's
say.
the guy who's
George C. Scott?
Is he the one who is
Are you talking about the animated one or live action?
no live action?
So that's George C.
Or
Scott.
Patrick Stewart. There's a
Patrick
Patrick Stewart.
Stewart.
That one's a pretty good one
I was
too.
gonna say the guy in
He'd be
Star
a good
Trek.
Scrooge. Although I imagine him as more of the happy Scrooge and less the grumpy Scrooge.
Oh, he was a grump for the first,
Well, right, that's how the.
I thought
7/8
Patrick
of the
Stewart
film.
did a great job in that movie.
The thing about Christmas Carol, A Christmas Carol rather, is when you read the book, it is way more psychedelic than most of the adaptations I've seen.
The one that gets the most psychedelic is the animated Jim Carrey one, just because it's animated. But
Right.
it's also
and Jim Carrey.
and Jim Carrey.
Yeah.
So I guess that explains
Didn't they
it.
do like facial
They did
capture for
yeah.
that one? Yeah.
It was kind of weird, uncanny motion capture, but also like
Yeah.
weirdly
Maybe not
psychedelic,
Polar Express
cartoonish.
levels.
I mean, it's newer than Polar Express, therefore the technology
I didn't really
better.
like Polar Express. That
I
was
got it
weird.
for Christmas one year, so I liked it because I got it as a gift. I thought it was. I don't know. I was at the age where I liked trains and stuff, so it floated.
Like
I always
trains.
confuse the Polar Express with the first book of His Dark Materials. I can never remember what the name of that.
They made a
It's
TV show out of
the
that.
Golden Compass, I think. I always got those things confused as a child.
The Polar Express.
And I'm like, so I hate the Polar Express, right? Like it's demonic and stuff. Yeah,
I mean, there's
because there's that kind of stuff in the.
the know-it-all kid.
What?
and then
So know-it-all kids are demonic. So I'm demonic.
actually,
No, like in the kid with the glasses in Polar Express.
And the yellow pajamas.
Yeah, the yellow pajamas.
if anybody's demonic
I've
in
never
that
seen
movie,
the
it's
Polar
Jim-
Express.
Oh, okay. We'll have to watch it.
If
Just-
Polar
anybody's
Express is one of my favorite Christmas movies.
okay, it's all the voices.
See that?
It's like Tom
90%
Hanks the movie,
Tom Hanks the movie. Yeah, he does almost all the voices. It's
from
kind
like
of
the
scary.
conductor, the weird hobo,
And
Santa Claus.
I think he did
It's-
all the motion capture for that too, like all of it.
Even the kid?
Yeah, even the kid. So the animation looks a little wonky because it's adult making child body-sized movements.
I had that hadn't occurred to me.
Yeah,
Huh.
I was
That is
watching like a
Interesting.
VFX breakdown of it, and it was really weird. But yeah, he did. He it was Tom Hanks the movie. But okay.
I mean, they did something similar. I think Jim Carrey played multiple roles in that Christmas Carol.
I believe it. Yeah,
Just because Jim
you have him
Carrey.
in the studio for a day and just like, all right, let's knock some of these out.
Okay, who all has said their favorite?
I haven't said my favorite yet.
We talked about Christmas Carol in general.
Well, I
but
said
Muppet
name 3
Carol is-
Christmas movies, but we're just going on our favorites, so we'll just switch to that.
Well, I'm bad at picking.
Well,
Like,
let's do Nathan.
I'm bad at picking singular favorites, but we've had a Wonderful Life. We've had mention of A Christmas Carol.
What's a favorite Christmas movie?
Jingle All the Way. You ever see that one?
Is that the one with Arnold Schwarzenegger?
That's the one with Arnold Schwarzenegger as a
What?
suburban dad in Minneapolis who is
What?
trying to find the most popular toy the day before Christmas. He has to find a Turbo Man doll for his son Jimmy, who is played by baby Darth Vader from Star Wars: The Phantom Menace.
Oh.
So that
Oh.
child actor.
Oh, okay.
It is this.
I kind of want to watch this now.
Oh,
Because Arnold Schwarzenegger in a Christmas movie.
tell you what, I'll get a hold of our copy pretty soon. I guess we'll have to watch it this upcoming week.
That's pretty
Because
epic.
it's something, all right. It's and then there's like this mailman he's competing against, played by Sinbad, and it's just this whole thing. It's not like the most theologically sound Christmas movie, but it's certainly a fun time.
There aren't a lot of Christmas movies that are.
Yeah.
Sadly, ironically enough. Let's see. A favorite Christmas movie of mine. We already said A Christmas Carol, but The Muppets Christmas Carol is, in my opinion,
Top tier.
excuse me, in my opinion, the best Christmas Carol edition.
A Muppet
I don't think it's the best adaptation of the story, but it's one of the
but
most
it's my
entertaining
favorite.
versions.
Right? Yeah, it's the most entertaining and it's my favorite.
It's probably one of the best Muppet movies out there, period.
Yeah, that's sort of. It's like sort of not my complete submission for this because we already talked about Christmas Carol, but oh gosh, now I have to think about this.
There's no dog there.
Yeah,
There's no dog there.
there's.
There is no space.
Do we do that every time you come on the podcast?
Probably.
No.
Or at least when we're doing
Every time
show
we
prep.
see you, at least.
Yeah.
At least once per visit.
Well, it just happened so naturally.
Oh gosh,
There's
this is
so many
tough.
like completely natural stimuli for random things that we do. We're like breathing.
human soundboards in here. Got to push the right buttons. I'm struggling to come up with another Christmas movie here.
How about Elf starring
Elf
Will
is
Ferrell?
good. That is a favorite. It is not the favorite.
No, it isn't the favorite.
But I
it's-
will always be down to watch Elf during Christmas time. If I like once.
Faith winced.
Yes.
I get that it's not everybody's cup of tea, but I rather enjoy it.
I think it's too silly.
Well, yeah, but it's Will Ferrell.
Too
I think the point
silly.
the point is to be altogether too silly.
That's okay.
I think
Home Alone.
a bit
It's okay.
too
I've yet to watch Home Alone.
silly.
I have it on
You have it
DVD.
on- We should just do a Christmas movie marathon this upcoming week.
Yeah, that sounds good. I took the whole week off, so that is a possibility.
I have to be here until Christmas Eve because I work at the UPS, and this is the weekend we have to come in every day.
This isn't sponsored except for it pays
It-
Nathan's bills.
It pays me, so in that way it's kind of
Sponsored
sideways
by the
sponsored.
United Puppy Squishers.
Okay,
Puppy
that's a
since
good-
1950.
What are now that we've done like Christmas movies that you liked? What are Christmas movies you saw and did not like? I think Faith has spoken for Elf.
Yep.
John, what's a Christmas movie you do not like?
A Christmas movie I don't like.
He already said Polar Express.
Oh, I suppose.
Yes.
I just
What's something different?
something different.
Yeah, we already talked about Polar Express.
Here's the
Alright.
thing: if I don't like it, I don't actively seek out watching it.
Sometimes
I
if
also
it-
don't remember it.
Right.
Unless
So I
it's
don't
so
play-
egregious that I have to.
For instance, I could say a Hallmark film is probably the
Any
worst Christmas
Hallmark
movie I've
movie
seen.
is
But they're all the
automatically-
same movie.
Right, any Hallmark Christmas movie is the worst Christmas movie
Any
ever.
Hallmark movie is the worst movie
Yes.
ever made.
I've
Yes.
got it. I know which one I dislike the most.
All right, let's hear it. Spots Christmas.
Jim Carrey's The Grinch.
Oh,
yeah.
No, not a
I
fan.
just we
Is
watched.
that Tim Burton? Did he direct
No,
that?
it's Jim Carrey.
Oh, okay, right.
Tim Burton. Great.
This is the Krusty
Oh
Krab.
man.
No,
Oh, Nightmare Before Christmas. I cannot stand that movie. I'm sorry.
I need
I
to watch
hate
that.
Tim Burton so much.
That is.
I wish for his salvation, but I cannot stand any of his works. I denounce Tim Burton and all of his works.
But also,
All of his empty show.
All his empty show.
but by
The Batman is okay. I will
What?
make that exception.
Batman,
one
the
he
original
directed.
1989 Batman.
The one that
That's
Tim
not a
Burton
Christmas
directed.
movie.
But it's Tim
Batman
Burton.
Right.
Returns is a Christmas
I'm
movie.
rejecting-
The one starring the Penguin and Catwoman, that one's a Christmas movie.
I'm rejecting all of Tim Burton but the Batman. Okay. Nightmare Before Christmas
But
doesn't float.
so, but here's the thing: the fact that you're acknowledging it on this episode of the podcast means you
We could bust out the
categorize
Saltcast.
it as a Christmas movie and not as a Halloween movie.
Well, the whole point is it's.
I
rotates
agree
around
with you
Christmas.
on the point that it's a Christmas movie, but that's kind of a hot take.
Oh.
You know me.
The hottest.
We are all about those spicy takes.
This is a spicy drink that I'm drinking right now.
Yes, that's why I like it.
You're having what we call a ginger snap.
Yeah, I know.
Ginger ale and
Fireball.
Fireball. I
And
always
it's
like
don't
say
normally
Red
like
Ball.
Fireball.
You were about to say Red Ball again. You
Red
always
Ball.
do that.
Red
know why.
Bone.
Red Ball is Red Bull and Fireball.
But we haven't made it yet, so
we
it's
haven't actually made it.
It was invented by my brain fart, which has been burned into my memory. Whenever I want to say Fireball, I will always initially want to say Red Ball. It's kind of like when you're learning
It's
a
like Red
song,
Bone.
like in piano lessons as a little kid, and you make a mistake, and if you don't pay attention, that is just the way you will play that song forever.
Oh yeah.
That's how that goes. Let's see. So, any other Christmas movies we do not like other than Tim Burton and
Hallmark and
Hallmark,
some other
Jim
opinions.
Carrey.
Jim Carrey?
See,
the
I just want
original-
to say one thing about that movie. First time I watched it was when I was in
A Little Bitty Boy.
Living in a box.
Fourth
on the
grade.
stairs.
You saw the Grinch.
I saw The Grinch.
Oh,
It
yes.
was at school. Like, we would do, every once in a while, we'd do movies during lunchtime. So we'd go to the cafeteria, get our trays, and then go back to our classroom to watch a movie while we ate lunch.
Mm-hmm.
And it was around Christmas time we were doing this. And so we voted, and everyone wanted to watch The Grinch, the new Grinch. And I did not want to watch it. I watched, like,
Well, he looks freaking scary.
Yeah, and I was
It's
like,
Jim Carrey.
I was the first time I saw it.
But in
I
a
was
Grinch costume.
I was drinking some chocolate milk, and then I saw him, and I was like, I don't want my chocolate milk anymore. I was put off from chocolate milk
That
for
is-
like the next year because it reminded me of Jim Carrey, The Grinch.
And see,
How
the
old were
original
you?
animated special
Well,
is
fourth
really
grade, so like
Fourth grade? Yeah, dang. That is
7 or 8
That's
years
a
old.
That
pretty strong
stuff is your
influence.
lifeblood when you're in fourth grade.
Right, yeah. In the little carton. As
Yeah.
I'm told.
Did you have Cass Clay or Land O'Lakes?
Cass Clay, I think it was.
When I was in
High
elementary school, we had Land O'Lakes.
That's
They
probably
switched to
like the
Cass Clay at
Minnesota-
some point.
Yeah.
Local.
We had
Look.
Kemp's.
Ooh,
Kemp's. Fancy cities.
fancy
Area.
Anoka stuff.
Yeah.
do?
Those cake eaters in Anoka.
we didn't get
Anoka's like the most ghetto suburb.
we didn't have chocolate milk at school.
Well, occasionally we did.
We had Nesquik powder
my
at our
class-
house.
On my
but
that doesn't count.
siblings'
It doesn't.
birthdays, we would occasionally whip out the chalky milk.
Now,
Chalky
Swiss
milk.
chocolate milk is the stuff.
That is. We actually typically diluted that with a little bit of like whole
It's-
milk
yeah, it's
because
so
it's
rich.
and it would last longer that way too. We would savor every drop of that stuff.
Welcome to our chocolate milk podcast.
Yeah.
Chocolate Cass.
Welcome to the chocolate
milk.
the
The
chocolate
Chalkcast.
Yeah.
I remember the first time I had hot chocolate with milk instead of hot chocolate with water.
It changes.
It was
everything.
life changing.
Yeah.
Hey, we could
Harder to heat up, but more definitely worth it.
Yes.
we could get you a frothed hot chocolate after the podcast with our barista over here.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah, we got a
James,
milk
I've been making
steamer
them for
and
James and Nathan.
Oh,
Yes.
so good.
They're pretty good.
Working out the kinks a little bit, but it's turning out pretty good. Partially, I mean, we had to clean out the machine and
Sometimes the milk tells us that it likes feet, and that's just not something we
Oh,
don't accept.
what
We're
now?
working out the kinks.
The milk tells us.
the milk tells
Almost
us.
spat out my Pendleton.
We might have to cut that out.
we might.
Okay, other least favorite Christmas movies that
Who
we've
hasn't
seen.
gone yet?
I don't know. We
Nathan didn't really give an answer.
I didn't really. I talked about Hallmark.
Yeah.
But like,
What's one that other people like that you didn't really? Or did you really pay that much attention?
I don't like to
personally-
focus on the negative.
I personally don't care for Frosty the Snowman too, but that's just me.
So here's the thing about Frosty the Snowman. I enjoy it. It's good.
Yeah.
But my younger sister Joan,
Oh no.
What happened?
I know this story.
she whenever she was sick, she was not the most nice person to have be sick because she would just lay on the couch and
Shout out
look
to
miserable. Shout out to Joan, who probably isn't
You're
listening.
awesome.
She is awesome. But when she was sick as a kid, she would just kind of lay on the couch miserably, not wanting to talk, and the only thing she would want to watch on the TV was Frosty the Snowman. No matter what time of the year it was, we would watch Frosty the Snowman 4 or 5 times a day for a week straight while she's sick and like has her mouth closed and her cheeks puckered like she's vomited in her mouth, but it's like not. She doesn't. She just wants to look awful and terrible for us.
Just so she can keep watching.
She's there on the
Frosty
couch
Snowman.
with that white sheet with the Mickey Mouse picnic on the bottom that we always used whenever somebody was sick. That
man.
was laid over the couch. It's a thing, man.
I think that for me, that
Anyway.
was like my mom had the sweater she would always wear when we were sick. Because she didn't care that it got dirty.
So yeah, it didn't ruin Frosty the Snowman completely for me for like ever, but for a while, that's what I.
Oh, this is the Jonas Sick
connotated.
movie.
Yeah, exactly.
I sort of, I know this is off the topic we have very loosely held to, but I enjoy a lot of the old like TV Christmas movies, like the cartoons. Like the old puppet animated Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer is probably my favorite.
And Jack
Rudolph
Frost.
is very fun.
And Jack Frost, I never actually got to see that. I think I
Yeah.
watched it on TV once.
You ever watch
like,
Santa
parts of
Claus
it.
is Coming to Town?
Oh,
the
yes,
Burgermeister Meisterburger.
Yeah, with
Is that the one
Mickey
what's his
Rooney
face? Mickey
was-
Rooney, yeah.
Is that the one with put one foot in front of the
Yep,
other?
yes. That's that
Yep,
one.
That's that one. Yeah, they're good musical numbers. The animation was serviceable and charming, and for the most part.
Yeah,
And then you have like the little drummer boy.
that one was pretty good. It
Um,
was actually biblical.
We
Somewhat.
well, minus the drummer boy or
Right.
anything else that happens, but it's set in a biblical setting. It is.
It directly involves baby Jesus, so
Yes.
it's
Of all the-
it
of
does
all the
better than most
Christmas
of them.
movies. This one actually has to do with the original Christmas directly, or the climax of the film is in Christmas, like the nativity.
Yeah,
Uh,
I really like the Charlie Brown,
Oh,
Charlie
yeah.
Brown Christmas.
Mm-hmm.
Peanut stuff in general. I like just
I
the character of Charlie Brown.
I like Peanuts, but it wants me to take a nap while I'm watching it. It's there's just something like, okay, this is something you watch while half awake. kind
Charlie
of
Brown
thing.
Christmas and Great
It's very
Pumpkin Charlie
soothing
Brown
and,
are like the
A
two
very sleepy
of
way.
the original specials that were like fantastic.
Mhm.
I think like a couple years ago they made like a 3D animated Peanuts movie that was
Oh,
stylized in
goodness.
2D, but it was stylized really heavily into
Yeah.
2D, and it actually
all
worked.
Spider-Verse, but not that hardcore. But it was like
It like
3D, but like shaded, like
it
cartoony.
was very
I'd
heavily
I'd
stylized.
have to see it.
I liked it a lot.
Yeah,
I think it might be on Disney Plus.
it might. I thought I saw it on
too.
there.
Anyway, so Charlie Brown Christmas is really
Yeah.
good,
Um,
and that one actually gets to the heart of what
Saint-
Christmas is at the end.
Yeah.
Lineticus of Pinutus.
Peanatus.
Pianotus.
another sort of Christmas story.
A Christmas story.
This is one I've told to this group before, probably. But so my older brother, when I was growing up, had this way of convincing me of things that were very much not true, just to razz me. A few of which I only found out recently were not true.
Oh no.
But in this case, this was how I learned what royalties were. So we were sitting in the car. We had just gone to confession, waiting for my mom. A lot of stuff happened when we were waiting for my mom in the car. Anyway, we were sitting. We had just gone to confession. We were sitting in the car. It was like maybe a few days before Christmas, and we're listening to the radio. There's Christmas music, and the Charlie Brown theme song comes on, and I'm like, how come they always play the Charlie Brown theme song at Christmas? And Ryan's like, nah, probably for the royalties or something cynical like that, 13-year-old stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, what are royalties? I was maybe like, I don't know, 9, something like that, 8 or 9. And he's like, oh, you don't know? So this is how it works. The King and Queen of England own peanuts. So people have to, every time they use stuff from the show, they have to pay them money to use it. So they call them royalties.
Which is half.
That is almost
getting
true.
at-
Yeah, he like sprinkled little bits of truth in these sorts of things to where it was believable. And that from that day, I knew what royalties were. Like I think Mom got back in the car and outed him a little bit, but there was a brief moment there where I thought that's how it worked. The other one where I only recently
Within,
figured out
like, the last
wasn't
year, I think.
true. This was like maybe
a
last
few
spring.
months ago.
Yeah, well, before Riley went to seminary. So I was a picky eater growing up. Ryan is like, James, if you eat tomatoes, like they contain hemoglobin, that's good for your blood.
I dispelled this.
We were
notion
talking about
a few months
tomatoes
ago.
while cleaning the kitchen one day. I was like, yeah, I suppose I could probably eat more. Like, I think it was like talking about I need to eat healthy or something like that. I was like, yeah, I suppose there's tomatoes. Like, that's supposed to be good for your blood, isn't it? And Riley just looks at me like, what? And then, is this something Ryan told you? I was like, no way. I Google it, comes up with nothing. And I send a very strongly worded text to Ryan. And he's like, I forgot about that. I can't believe you still
the
think
thing
that.
that tomatoes have is lycopene,
Lycopene.
which is very good for you,
And
Right.
potassium.
and potassium.
Right. But not hemoglobin. Your body produces hemoglobin. So it was another one of those instances where he sprinkled in little
If you
bits
need
of truth.
to take hemoglobin supplements, you might be a vampire.
Yeah. So there may still be latent things programmed into my young brain that I still think are true that he maybe not nefariously, if only for some a little off topic, but yeah, just a little.
I feel like this is going to be an episode that's hard to stay on topic just because of
Right.
the nature of the discussion is so broad.
Uh-huh. Riley, are there Christmas movies besides Polar Express you can't stand?
Besides that, and Hallmark, no.
Yes.
I just did not watch a lot of Christmas movies growing up.
Yeah.
We watched the same 2 or 3 that we had on DVD. And
Yeah, that's typically how it went. On VHS as well.
I feel like if it was a movie we were going to hate, we didn't borrow it or get it or watch it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, my mom has kind of soft banned the movie A Christmas Story
Oh, yeah.
because she just cannot stand that one.
You've seen it,
Or like,
though, right?
oh yes.
She just doesn't like the bit where he gets shot, where like the ricochet hits him in the eye, or what?
all sorts of stuff. Just
The Bumpus' dogs. That was
just
all
like a whole bunch of like off-color jokes that she's like, I don't want to have my kids around
like the
that.
lamp.
The lamp.
Isn't there somebody in our neighborhood who has that?
I don't know. Probably.
I think last
Yes.
year. Yeah.
It's
It's by campus.
on 12th Street.
Yeah, I know I've seen that.
She would allow us to borrow it from the library once every 2-3 years, but like we don't own it and probably won't until like a sibling owns it and has it in their collection.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've never seen it. I don't want to.
It's
It's very dumb, but also
I don't know. I like it. It's at the time it came out, it was sort of like in the 80s, so like all those people it's like set in like the 1940s, kind of middle America, which is where a lot of people watching the movie would have been like when they were growing up, kind of a like nostalgia movie.
I think the best part of the movie is it is very much a nostalgia movie because there's a narrator who is the kid as an adult telling the story. But he describes all the observations of a child with the language of an adult, where it's very like detailed and uses all these long words that no kid would ever know. But it's just like such a weird contrast. It's
There
so good.
was oh gosh, for whatever reason I came across this article today where it was talking about the actor who would play the little boy Ralphie in the movie. There was a scene where he was daydreaming that he was a cowboy, like using his BB gun to scare away all the bullies or whatever at school, and the script said he was supposed to spit snooze, and so one of the stage guys just straight up gave him like chewing tobacco, and he got horrifically sick, and the director is like, what on earth is going on here? And then they found out what was happening. It's like, guys, he is 12 years old. And so like after he recovered, they just like used raisins like like crushed up raisins
Sure.
to do the same effect. But yeah, like little things like that. Yeah, let's see. Christmas movies I don't like. Well, I already talked about The Nightmare Before Christmas. That whole aesthetic just very much bothers me. There's James and the Giant Peach, even though my name is James. I
think that might have been the catalyst for it.
Yeah, that was at a young age. Because everyone's like, oh, this has the word James in it. James will probably like it. No, that stuff is nightmare fuel.
Yeah.
You're allowed to speak.
Audible mouthing.
Speak your opinions.
Yes. Push back, Faith. Faith disagrees.
I'll regret it.
Oh.
You won't regret doing this podcast.
You'd think of all the people here, you'd have the most faith in yourself. That was on the nose. Anyway.
So, guys, when is an appropriate time to set up a Christmas tree?
Whoa.
December 24th.
You think so? That late?
It's Advent.
Right.
Christmas.
Technically speaking, it's Advent until
here's
it's
the
Christmas,
thing.
and then 12 days after that, it's Christmas.
Often what we did growing up is we would put up the tree, just the tree, and then we would decorate it as we approached
See,
Christmas.
that I like that. That's cool. That's
And
fun.
we also, like growing up, we did the Advent wreath with the 4 candles in the house, and we would sing like an Advent hymn and do some meditations and prayers and different things leading up to Christmas every night. So those were some cool traditions that we had growing up.
My mom, on Thanksgiving, sets up the tree.
Yeah, to me
and decorates it.
I'll allow it because a lot of the time, the weekend of Thanksgiving, like this year, is the first week of Advent. But
usually.
Yeah, the day after Thanksgiving is when I can stop complaining about people playing Christmas music in the supermarket.
Usually we would get home from going
when
to
I
Thanksgiving stuff. It would usually be like a Saturday or Sunday after Thanksgiving. So like usually first weekend of
Well, and then now that most of
Advent.
us are moved out of the house, like this last weekend when we several of us were home, we decorated the tree because that's just when my mom had help. So
Sure.
yeah,
Like the Christmas season hasn't, like the Advent Christmas whole like season hasn't started for me until I sat in the living room helping put up the Christmas tree with Elvis Presley's Christmas album in the background. Because that was like always how we kicked it off.
oh yeah, like Christmas music. We could talk about like the Christmas music artists. Bing Crosby's my
Now,
personal
if you want to
favorite.
talk about Christmas songs we don't like, I can have opinions.
Yeah, let's
about
not do that. That will be here all night.
Well, some people had some opinions about what I played at the Christmas party.
Well, it
But
wasn't
I-
Christmas music.
That wasn't Christmas.
I was playing Tori Kelly's new Christmas album. She
Nobody
came out
liked
with
that.
in November. Or no, she came
Everybody
out with it in
disliked
October.
What's that?
She came out with it in October.
Yeah.
You come out with a
But
Christmas
It
album.
wasn't
immediately got
classical
shut
Christmas.
down.
Yeah.
I was like, what the heck?
What the heck?
Well,
Oh,
I
Well,
don't
that's
know.
not
I guess
Christmas music.
I've never...
No.
It's not coming up.
Well, that's okay because
Literally.
we went over the copyright thing.
Well, I'm not going to play it. I'm showing you.
Oh, really?
Christmas album.
It's not
Her
Christmassy
first
at
one is
all.
Silent Night.
Her lyrics are very Christmassy.
Okay, maybe.
And she made up a song called 25th. Because I don't remember who it was talking to me. But they're like, why don't people make up new Christmas songs? Everyone just makes covers of
'Cause
the
when-
classic ones. And I'm like, well, they're classic. But also, people do make up new ones. You just don't remember them because they're not classic.
Also, when people come up with new ones, they end up being Last Christmas and All I Want for Christmas Is You. And no thank you very much.
I very much prefer the mashup of Creep by Radiohead and All I Want for Christmas. It works way too well for whatever reason. Anyway, let's see. Yeah, Bing Crosby is my personal favorite. Another one we listened to a lot was Andy Williams' Christmas album.
Oh, yeah.
Josh Groban's Christmas album is pretty solid. Yeah, those are ones I
We had this one album, this Christmas album, that was a radio show that Bing Crosby did in World War II. And so not only is it like Bing Crosby singing Christmas songs and some from his
But little
recent hit
messages in
movie,
between.
but it was sponsored by Kraft Cheese, and every so often it would be like Kraft Cheese Spread. If you want to
yeah.
set the table this Christmas with all sorts of spreads and stuff, get Kraft Cheese Spread with
Yep.
little bits of pickle all through it.
See, we think brand integrations are new. No, they're as old as basically any mass media. But
But it's like, and it's got like other guest stars that come on and sing the little songs and stuff. It's fun.
It's like a variety show, but on the radio.
Yes.
Yeah, I think I've heard like tracks from that, like when I'm just playing Christmas music on Spotify on random or whatever.
It's not all Christmas music. Some of it's just like old jazz and blues
Or
stuff.
like churchy type hymn things.
Oh, yeah,
Gee.
Let's see. I have a personal distaste for Michael Bublé, but he is a good singer, I will acknowledge.
His diction is bad.
His
Yeah.
Ave Maria is.
In fairness, how could you expect people to know Latin diction?
Yeah. And adapt it to. Well, he's a jazz singer.
He's a jazz singer.
There's
Yeah.
that too.
Gratia plena.
The thing I cannot stand from him the most, because it makes me so uncomfortable, is him singing Santa Baby. It's like
That song in
any
general is
guy
kind of
singing
uncomfortable.
that just sounds all sorts of weird.
I don't think guys should sing that
No,
song.
no,
I-
no.
I'm
We'll
not
leave it
sure
there.
that anybody should sing that song. Let's
No,
be real.
no,
I don't-
it's-
Santa
It's actually
baby,
one of my mom's
punch
favorites.
my heretics in the face.
There you go. That's the acceptable
I
adaptation.
was at Walmart today, Christmas shopping,
Huh.
believe it or not.
As one
And
does.
there was Christmas music playing at Walmart.
as
That
there
makes
is often.
sense.
And there was this Hanukkah song.
What?
It was this song. It was like this new. I don't know what it was. It was like a. It was. I could tell. They were trying to be Jewish by playing polka. It was like polka hip hop about Hanukkah. And I was like,
All right.
How do you have polka and rap at the same time?
and did you
It could
know?
work. I think it could work.
Did
But
you
anyway.
know that?
If it's in like Polish or something.
Yeah.
I don't know if this is a new thing, but I discovered it today that Walmart has its own radio station for Walmart.
Oh yeah.
I did
Oh,
not
sure.
know that, but
It
it
was
doesn't
like,
surprise me.
Having worked there, I can confirm that this has been the case for a long time.
I didn't realize
is
that
this,
till
is
today.
this broadcast to all Walmarts?
Yeah,
Oh.
That makes
It's like satellite radio. It's gotta be.
It's pre-recorded.
and they were trying to do.
Oh.
There was like I was
It's-
listening to
it's
the
pretty
two hosts of the Walmart radio, and they were like
I've never heard those come on.
talking about. They're trying to talk about. Let's talk about what's trending in the Walmart world right now. I'm like,
Gross.
how many people are paying attention to what's
That's
trending
really
in the
it's,
Walmart?
the Walmart radio is for the employees. That part is to break
'Cause
the
they're the only
monotony
ones there
of the
long
same
enough.
2-hour loop of songs. They have the same segment of songs that they play on 2-hour loops. So you get it 4 or 5 times in a shift.
Consumerism.
Yeah.
Yay!
I suppose that can be sort of a segue into a couple of the things I wanted to talk about.
Oh, what did you want to talk about?
So-
What do you want to talk about?
Kind of broadly speaking, like we've been talking about like favorite Christmas movies, Christmas songs, little traditions here and there, which kind of leads into, as sort of a cliche at this point, the reason for the season, obviously.
What's
Now-
the true meaning of Christmas?
Yes. Now the deal is, obviously we all know that Christmas is a celebration of Christ's birth, right?
Yeah.
Let's see. When was Christmas originally first actually celebrated by the church? When did that tradition start? Because Easter
I think
has been celebrated by the church since the beginning.
they're
Basically,
like in Ireland or some place with paganism, and they're like, "Hey, this December thing you do isn't particularly cool. How about we just replace it with Christmas? Let's appropriate your culture. How about?"
kind of
Saint
but-
Francis created the first nativity scene.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Well, because Christ's birth is commemorated for a while, and then it's sort of. I think there was. I need to do research on this, but
Right.
medieval period sometime. And since then, especially in England, I think is one country that really developed a lot of the Christmas traditions that we still practice, and a lot of the Christmas carols originated in.
Well,
and
a
the
Christmas
obese
carol.
Saint Nicholas.
Yeah. Well, that was a combination of different cultures because
That
there's
was Protestants.
yeah.
Yeah.
So
So is the Advent candle.
Mm-hmm.
Isn't that cool?
So
They can have good
neat.
ideas
Yeah.
sometimes.
Anyways,
so let's see.
They're 1 for 1 and 1. They're 1 and 1 on those accounts. The fat Santa Claus does no justice to Saint Nicholas.
But one thing that kind of bleeds through with all these different like things surrounding Christmas is tradition. And what is tradition?
Tradition.
Sorry.
Not Fiddler on the Roof, but
Nor are we Catholics. No.
yeah. But there's a lot of things surrounding Christmas that sort of developed out of like the celebration of it. I sort of categorized this when I was thinking about it. Like you have Christmas traditions that do directly with it, and then there's things sort of a mythos almost of like stuff surrounding the celebration of Christmas. So it's sort of tangentially Christmas.
And that's the structure around
so
which
like
the culture has created their idea
not
of
St.
Christmas.
Nicholas, Santa Claus, and the elves, and Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. And this is reflected in Christmas carols, right? Because originally Christmas carols had very much to do with like singing about caroling, which is pretty meta for 1600s. Down to like the 12 Days of Christmas, which all of the gifts were like direct symbols of like tenets of the faith, and they were used to teach children the catechism while the church was being persecuted in England is sort of code, which is pretty cool stuff. I once read through the list of like what the different symbols were. I wouldn't be able to tell you right off the top of my head, but so you have like Away in a Manger, Silent Night, which was written by a German guy because the organ was broken and all they had was a guitar, so he wrote Silent Night as a Christmas hymn to play at Mass, which is pretty cool.
The liturgical
Catholic,
guitar
of course.
gave us that.
Yeah. So checkmate trads. Anyway. But that is at least the legend of how the Silent Night was written. But you have Silent
Still
Night,
knocked.
Oh Holy Night, all these different songs that surround like the actual Christ's birth or Christmas, and then you have stuff like Jingle Bells, which was actually originally written for Thanksgiving time, I think, but that didn't stick. Jingle Bells, Deck the Halls.
Here's the thing:
Here
it's
we
like
go,
the Hall.
Wassailing,
Like-
Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer,
Look.
Frosty the Snowman. A lot of people will be like, "Oh, those were just commercial inventions to sell stuff for Christmas." Yeah. It's like, no, I think they more. I mean, like, definitely people like commercialized and capitalized off that stuff. But me as an advertising guy, there's not typically when you advertise or market something, there's a call to action, like you're trying to get people to do something specific. So like an ad, buy this whiskey or whatever at the end of it. But with these things, there's not really like with Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. There's no there's no.
It was based on a
message.
short storybook.
Right. Yeah. But like these are all like sort of tales and little cultural things like surrounding Christmas and the celebration of it. Maybe not directly to like subliminally drive sale of Christmas stuff, although there's elements of that because merchandising or whatever, you're not for your
Royalties.
Merchandising, where the real money from the movie is made.
yeah. But
But nowadays, like Christmas
there's sort of that
music-
split.
Oh, okay. You're letting okay. But nowadays,
just
Christmas
finishing
music
this
is more like if you say the word snow or mention maybe Christmas
And allowing it to snow.
and allowing then it's suddenly Christmas. It's like
If you give
modern
me a-
Christmas music is a little bit like certain like country music where it's like if you say tractor and maybe blue jeans and like
And
speak in
beer.
a drawl
Or blue.
and talk about beer, it's a country song. No matter if it doesn't matter if it's to a hip hop beat, Little Nas X, whatever your name is.
Yeah.
It's definitely country because you said tractor. You said snow, so it's definitely a Christmas song. It kind of has that same attitude just because it's like it's not a genre, it's an
It's like
attitude.
winter Christmas.
Winter Christmas, yeah. There's sort of
Yeah.
a fair critique, I think.
Poor
of-
Australians.
Yeah, I know, and that's
Yeah.
the other thing. It's only like North America and most
Destroy
of
the
Europe.
southern hemisphere. Society's progressed past the need for the southern hemisphere.
Yeah. We save the penguins and nothing else.
The penguins don't celebrate Christmas,
No. Anyway.
and it's plenty like cold and icy down there anyway.
Right.
So it fits the correct aesthetic.
Okay. He must be a South Pole elf. Anyway, so what do you suppose? I mean, there's something to be said, like a fair point, I think, of like the stuff that is not directly to do with Christmas kind of being maybe a symptom or related to like sort of the secularization of Christmas and the commercialization and on down the line. And you could probably wax poetic about the origins of that as probably when, like, the Protestant, Reformation or what have you, where stuff started getting thrown in there that wasn't before. Because Christmas is literally Christ Mass is the origin of the word. So it's very much, in the Catholic tradition, it's very much a liturgical thing.
But oddly, there were a lot of Jews in Hollywood making Christmas movies at the time too, like in the 40s.
Yeah.
Most of those like old.
I think it's
Bing Crosby. Those Christmas movies. That guy was Jewish.
Was Bing Crosby Jewish?
No. The guy that directed the movies. I forget what his name is.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, it's just like funny how that was like part of Hollywood's.
It's very much embedded in American culture, and then
Yes.
different cultures have their different ways of celebrating Christmas. England, in particular, it's got a special place for them.
Well, Charles Dickens was from England, and he wrote A Christmas Carol, and
Which
that dictates
a
like
lot of
half of the
people
Christmas
attribute-
movies that ever get made.
Right. Well, and like him writing A Christmas Carol and it becoming popular sort of is attributed, sort of maybe mythically, I'm not sure to what extent it's true, but him writing that is what sort of solidified the celebration of Christmas in England because of how popular that was. Which I think it'd be culturally practiced, like carried down from the Catholic tradition, but like, England at this point had been Protestant for a couple centuries, so it was like, why celebrate Christmas? And I think there was a couple of years where like when Oliver Cromwell took over the reins in England or something, like he outlawed Christmas for like 5 years, and I was like, man, that would suck. But anyway,
Sounds like the plot to Santa Claus is Coming to Town.
yeah, based on a true story, but very loosely. Yeah. Let's see. What was the whole point I was getting to?
I don't know.
Anyway, the whole point I was trying to make here is I hate sauerkraut. Oh, I'm sorry. We were talking about Christmas.
Yeah. So how do we as Catholics not get bogged down? Or actually, I suppose in the spirit of this podcast, how do we draw the true, the good, and the beautiful of Christmas out of all the things associated with celebrating it?
Make your own gifts out of
Stuff.
wood and stuff.
Well, I suppose Christmas is an apt time to...
If you're good at that stuff.
Right, yeah. But I mean, like, gift of self reflected... I mean, that was the one thing my parents always told us growing up, and probably most people's parents, is like, we give you gifts because we love you.
Mm-hmm.
And that sort of gift of self for love of another, it, like, symbolized in giving of gifts at Christmas time, which is, in itself, should be a reminder of, like, God's gift of himself to us by being born on this earth. So, sort of the fulfillment of the incarnation, I suppose, is what you could categorize Christmas as.
But technically, Christmas is not the incarnation.
No,
No.
but I mean, it's the culmination of the.
It is the memorial of the incarnation.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
It is
9
about
months
the incarnation.
after the Feast of the Incarnation on March 25th. Yeah.
Or before.
So yes, good point. We have faith to guide the way. And
She's in the room to roll her eyes now.
but yeah.
I think it's great how many people find joy in the season. Like
Even
even
if
if
they're
they're
not
not
religious, yeah.
Christian or believe in God, even like they still see like the beauty of celebrating.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And like a lot of the popular stories, like It's a Wonderful Life and Christmas Carol, bring to light some very human truths about human goodness, about charity and living your life in service of others as opposed to for yourself.
Yeah.
So a lot of the there are a lot of very good and true themes associated with Christmas films due to pillar titles like Christmas Carol and
But I think like the broader culture
Wonderful Life.
recognizes, and like that's sort of the thing too, is what we try to do when we live our lives by example, and that witness is like the broad culture has recognized for a long time like the good things associated with Christmas and like the grace that kind of flows from out without it. And so like these secularized versions of Christmas sort of are like little echoes of what lies beneath. So it's kind of a cool way that hopefully, like, by our example and the way we live and consume these sorts of things. Well, that's not the best term because we don't want to be just consumers. But anyway,
I mean, we do a lot of consuming around Christmas. Tell you what, those cookies that Riley got.
Riley's aunt has been giving us a lot of good
A lot of
food.
consumables.
Yes,
Hmm?
Sure, that's the word to use.
Edibles, right?
Yeah.
Oh no! Oh no! Quick, change the subject.
But like the culture recognizes the good things about Christmas, and hopefully, like if I guess one goal for us Catholics would be to like try to use those as opportunities to draw people in closer to the truth and reality of Christmas and God's gift and His love for humanity. Because if they recognize like sort of the beauty of like Christmas time and the celebration of Christmas, beauty attracts people and draws them closer to the true, the good, and
Well, beautiful's one of those. So.
Beautiful.
There you go.
yeah.
Beautiful.
Beautiful diamond ring.
And the celebration of Christmas, the culture, like our whole culture celebrating Christmas to one extent or another, is a reflection of unity.
It is. Although
'Cause we are united in the celebration of the thing, even if it's
It's more inclusive to say happy holidays because not everyone celebrates Christmas.
right.
Well,
I celebrate Kwanzaa.
I feel like
I
over the years, the whole politically correct thing over Christmas is like
that's sort of
kind of gone.
It's
down.
kind of swung back a little
Yeah,
bit.
because
which is
people
like-
don't really care so much
Oftentimes,
anymore.
you'll hear
saying Merry
Jewish people
Christmas.
say, if somebody wishes me Merry Christmas, I'll say Merry Christmas to you too.
Right.
Because, especially in the United States, it is sort of a cultural holiday.
It's a cultural default.
Yeah, it is like an American cultural holiday as well as like
I would take
Christian
no
holiday.
offense to somebody wishing me a happy Hanukkah or a happy Kwanzaa because it's like, yeah, I'll have a good day
I've
that
literally
day.
never met someone who celebrates Kwanzaa.
No.
Ever.
Right.
I've met people who celebrate Hanukkah.
I
Never
learned
Kwanzaa.
about Kwanzaa though. I thought it was a religious, African holiday, but it actually is purely African American, and it is pretty secular. Like it's not really about. It's just about equality, basically.
Mm-hmm.
That's it, and it's basically Christmas with a few added things.
Mm-hmm. Now, one thing, and Nathan sort of briefly referred to this.
I did.
Well, the origins of Christmas, people are like, oh, it's just like the Catholics taking over the winter
The
solstice
pagan
celebration,
stuff.
like pagan rituals and stuff. It's like, so, like, because the thing was, back in the day, like the missionary spirit of the church was very much to take what the people understood and bring the redemption of Christ into it. And raising them up with that.
Because there were some things that they believed that were good and had a solid foundation in their understanding of truth. And so just take that and inject more truth, goodness, and beauty and actual.
And if you think about too,
Catholicism
like
to it.
right before we celebrate Advent, there's the feast of Christ the King, who is Lord over all the earth, and so like that was sort of the Christians by taking over literal like pagan temples and making them into cathedrals. Or not cathedrals, but like churches, and taking pagan feasts and traditions, like the Christmas tree, for example, is like a Germanic sort of celebration, but like sort of not really like being sellouts.
It's not syncretism.
Explain syncretism for us.
Syncretism is like taking all of different cultures and directly incorporating their things just as is without baptizing them, Christianizing them. So it's like if we were to adopt Native American spiritual practices like verbatim, then that would be syncretism.
Yeah.
But what we intend to do is appropriation. So we take the
Which in this
symbols
context
and
is
language and all of that cultural context and sort of turn it Christian.
Yeah,
Baptize it.
frame Christianity using those in a way that makes sense to the culture.
You see this kind of epitomized in the way that we formulate a lot of doctrines that we have. So like the hypostatic union is a term that's like ripped straight out of Plotinus in the 3rd century. So he kind of had this term hypostasis, which is not really person, but it's like the word that Greek uses for person. And so like they were all deciding these things in Greek. So we basically adopted that language because that's what intellectuals were familiar with, to use it to explain the concept of the divine and human natures being united in one person.
Mm-hmm.
Similarly, with all of these kind of cultural symbols, we take them and we inject Christianity into them and we use them for our Christian purposes.
To introduce Christ into them and like speak the language of the people to preach the gospel.
Right.
So yeah, don't feel guilty for listening to that Christmas song, or unless it's the ones we talked about.
Feel guilty about listening to them.
Feel guilty about listening to Santa Baby.
Yeah.
Continue to listen to it. Just be guilty.
Yes.
Just be guilty.
Shame.
Mm-hmm.
Shame.
Don't feel guilty about, watching that Christmas movie. Well, depending on the Christmas movie.
As long as it's not Hallmark.
Yeah.
Or whatever.
That's just bad film.
What was it? Netflix or Hulu that did the.
There's weird things.
There's weird things that happen.
Yeah.
Other people are trying to reappropriate what we've appropriated
Right.
already.
Be discerning in your media, but generally, if you go into it with, in the spirit of celebrating Christ's birth and not doing things that are very much contrary to that, then I don't know.
Good.
Good for you.
Yeah. We gotta watch.
Go to mass on Christmas.
And then go to mass other than Christmas.
Yeah, if
Yeah.
Christmas and Easter are the only times of year that you go to mass, we would recommend that you maybe up the
Maybe-
frequency a bit. Like
To about
once
To
a week.
about
Once-
at
approximately
least.
greater than or
once a-
equal to once a week.
Yeah.
on Sunday. in
No
particular.
more and no less. Yes, on Sunday specifically.
Right.
Unless you live in an area where you're dispensed because of COVID, but you get the idea. You still should if you
The
can.
third world
Well,
country.
Sabbath is still an observation you should keep,
Mm-hmm.
regardless of whether you end up being able to go to church and stuff. So.
I guess while we wrap up, what are some, if any, like family, like Christmas Day traditions that stick out to you, like growing up?
Personally?
Yeah.
Getting a lamp from Santa and being very sad.
That's a tradition?
Like every year. Just have a bunch of lamps.
I love lamp.
Do you cover
Brother.
the lamp? No. Oh, good.
Under a bushel basket? Also, where you find a bushel basket? That's a Christmas memory. Were there any like things you guys did to commemorate Christmas? To John, go.
I audibly raised my hand.
Uh-huh.
Well, my family has a tradition of the Christmas pickle. If you've ever heard of the Christmas pickle,
No.
It's like Elf on the Shelf, but it's pickle in the tree.
it's in the tree. It's a tiny green pickle ornament, like this big. You can audibly see
Audibly
that.
gesturing.
Audibly gesturing with
About
his thumb
this
and
wide.
forefinger.
Like
Yeah.
a pickle.
Like a small pickle.
It's small and it's a very dark green, so it blends in with the tree. My mom hides it, and then me and my sister go find it on Christmas Day.
Huh.
I've heard
That
of
was
that.
right.
And
Random, but
whoever
cool.
wins gets a pat on the back.
Neat.
This year, my mom dropped it while hiding it in the tree, and now she doesn't even know where it is.
It's an adventure for the whole family.
Yeah. So we'll
If
have
we
fun
had
finding
real
it.
trees, there's this Swedish tradition where you kind of like pitch it out the front door the day after Christmas
Oh.
and just let it sit on your lawn until the 12 days of Christmas are over, and then you burn it.
There you go. Well, because
But we never had
real
a
trees are really flammable.
We never had a real tree, so we didn't do that.
We did for a while, but my dad is very much paranoid about Christmas trees lighting the house on fire, so we
I'm
didn't.
definitely saving mine for firewood later.
Hmm.
I'll let it dry out.
Yeah. They burn real nice. But anyway,
Well, it's a pine and it's been sitting drying in your house.
some of my favorite things growing up that we did, like Christmas caroling is a big thing in our house. My mom will. There's like this book where it's like the with all the sheet music, and it's like it has like old Christmas cards and stuff on every page, and like classic stuff. She'll play the piano and we'll sing along to it. And after I learned piano lessons, I started learning some of the carols, like how to play them too. And we'll usually, now that we're older, the lads of the household will get together and have a few drinks of Christmas cheer and have a rousing
Christmas
chorus
cheer.
of "Oh Holy Night" is usually the crescendo of the night. Yeah, a little like Christmas caroling has been a big thing since basically as long as I can remember.
Yeah, it's happening. It happened less frequently in recent years, but like when I was a kid, every Christmas Eve, we would all load into the car and go to Grandma's house, and like all the uncles and aunts that lived in the area would come, and a lot of great food made by a lot of great people, and then like Dad, and then when Grandpa was alive, it would be Grandpa, but mostly Dad and the uncles would just sit in the living room, play a bunch of old Christmas carols on acoustic guitar, so like Silent Night and the Christmas in the City, Silver Bells. And the whole night would like crescendo. At the end of the night, everyone would sit in a circle in the living room, and we'd all be assigned days of Christmas, and we would do 12 days of Christmas.
There you go.
It was like the highlight of the night. We would head home, and I think...
Man, imagine a big family being organized. This is blowing my mind.
Well, when it comes to music,
our
family is extremely organized. That is how Lassarts roll.
Yeah. Yep.
Hope maybe your new brother-in-law will inject a little bit of that into your family. Who knows?
Well, when we sing "Deck the Halls" and the little Christmas story bit at the end, if you know what I'm talking about.
Oh yeah,
that is a near obligation at this point.
Oh yes.
I don't know. He's joined us in a rousing chorus with some Christmas cheer in his hand in the past. So.
Well, yeah.
Anything from you, Faith, in the Christmas traditions?
Well, depending on the year, we'll either be at Grandma's house, at home in the cities, or at the farm. So, I don't know, depends where we are, but I think one of my favorite parts is just like the big meal together, all the different Christmas cookies.
Food.
It's
Lefse,
great.
if you're my family.
Yes, lefse. Yes.
More recently, we'll like do a cheese and crackers like the night after of like Christmas Eve after Mass.
Christmas Eve meal in our family is always beer cheese soup.
Ooh.
Which now that I'm an adult, I actually like.
Yeah.
Like when I was a kid, I just could not do it. And
It's just cheese.
Oh, beer cheese.
Well,
It really doesn't impact the flavor that
yeah,
much.
That's the way
it
my
don't
mom
really
made it.
taste.
It's not your standard beer cheese.
Yeah.
Like,
It's
alcohol
cheese beer?
cooks off. Yeah.
Cheese beer soup.
But now that I'm an adult, it's like one of my favorite things is my mom's beer cheese soup. Always like a Christmas tradition.
It just always tastes like just cheese, melted cheese to me.
Yeah. And we'll typically do like turkey or ham
Cheddar
depending on the
cheese.
year for the dinner.
Ugh, now I'm hungry.
And that type of thing.
I hungry.
Also, we always put stockings up over the
Oh, yeah.
fireplace.
Mhm.
We have very particular stockings with their names on it.
Mhm.
It's pretty cool.
One year we got to decorate stockings for ourselves, and they last a while, but eventually because we just used hot glue on felt, it all fell off. Now we have these glitter abominations. I hate glitter so much.
Me too.
Oh, it's the worst. And now my parents got a new Christmas tree that was smaller because we have more furniture in the living room and more people to put in the living room on Christmas morning.
Mm-hmm.
And with the nephews and in-laws and whatnot. And the thing is coated in glitter. It's like, what were you thinking?
See,
It's like the cat hair of decorations.
no, tinsel's the cat hair. Well,
No, but I mean, it just gets everywhere,
yes.
and there's no getting it out completely.
but my dad grew up in a house where the tree was absolutely destroyed with tinsel, and so he just doesn't do it at our place. We do like gold garland, and that's the shiny, and lights obviously. But it's like, you go to Grandma's house at Christmas time, and it was just silver with tinsel.
So, I guess on that note, I guess we could talk about if there's a particular Christmas memory that pops into your head.
I have no memory of this play.
Well, you talked about the lamp. I don't know. I wouldn't categorize that as a favorite Christmas memory.
No.
I don't know.
I don't categorize memories by like my favorites. It's like I don't know.
No, right, but I mean, like
I've never been that particularly
something like a good moment that sticks
I got
out to
one.
you.
I think getting Pokemon Emerald was my favorite Christmas
There you
memory.
go. Favorite, yeah.
This isn't my favorite Christmas memory, but it's one that
A good one.
sticks out to me. It's the first time I ever experienced sleep paralysis.
oh.
Pray tell.
I took a nap. It was Christmas time. My mom was playing a Christmas album on the CD player because we had the CD player back then, and I was taking a nap on the couch, and then I awoke from my nap, but my body didn't awake from the nap, so I was stuck there listening to. It was like this. Oh, Feliz Navidad! And I had it stuck in my head because I couldn't leave the room because I was stuck.
How old were you?
I don't know. I was probably 9 or 10.
Oh, okay. That's
So
all right.
that reminds me, like, not quite related, but okay. So in the winter, I get very dry hands. I get very dry hands.
As you do.
As you do, because there's no moisture in the air. Anyway, so one Christmas morning, I wake up early. I just always have. It always has been. So I got up way earlier than everybody else. A, because I naturally wake up early, and B, because it's Christmas and you're excited for Christmas.
And it's
You're a
dark
kid.
until like 8:30.
Exactly. That's actually part of the story. It's dark till 8:30, and I don't bother turning on the lights because that'll wake people up. So I'm just kind of sitting, chilling in the living room, looking at the Christmas tree in the dark. And people wake up, they trickle in, and we start the Christmas stuff going on. There's presents and stuff. And I look down at my mom, like points to me and is like, "Hey Nate, what's wrong?" I look at my hand and oh, that's a lot of blood that has just dried onto my hand from being cracked in the middle of the night because of dry hands. So it's like that's odd. I'm gonna wash up and also change my sheets because that got in there.
Nathan,
Oh my
are you
goodness.
getting cold again,
I have blood on my hands.
mother?
So
A
that-
similar
that-
note to waking up early. I used to have difficulty sleeping through the night, even when I was like 3 or 4 years old, and especially around Christmas time, because you're excited. It's dark until like kind of late, and there was my sister and I. She had the lower bunk, I had the top bunk. When I was 5 and she was like 7, or something like that. And I remember waking up and I was really thirsty. This is like, the night of Christmas Eve. And I'm like, "Michelle, can I drink some of your water?" "No." It's like, "Oh, could you get me some?" Or get me some? No, you go do it." "I want to go downstairs though." "Why not?" So like, I don't, if Santa's down there putting the presents under the tree, he's going to get mad. And I don't want that. I ended up just going back to sleep just because I was convicted that I could not go down there. Because I think I'd seen that Eminem's commercial where there was like the guy walks in on Santa putting the gifts in, and that for some reason had a profound impression on my mind. But
We're learning a lot about the profound impressions on your mind this episode.
Yeah. Speaking of Christmas movies, The Toy That Saves Christmas by VeggieTales.
VeggieTales.
Good stuff. Faith, yes, Christmas.
Not a favorite memory, but it's a funny one.
A good one, yeah.
So some years my family gets the Christmas tree like Christmas Eve. And this one year we got the tree on Christmas Eve. And my younger sisters didn't clean up the living room, like from their toys, whatever. So there were Beanie Babies all over the floor. So to decorate the tree, Mom just tossed the Beanie Babies on the Christmas tree. And that was how it was decorated that year. It was really cute.
Nice.
That's fun.
They still have the tags on them. Is that how you hung them?
Huh?
No,
Like,
you just pelt
just
the
stuff
tree
'em.
with him.
That's a thing, though. Like, apparently people who collect it or thought that Beanie Babies would be a thing. Like, we had all the tags on the Beanie Babies for some reason.
No, they don't have the plastic tags.
Oh, okay. Anyway, that was just a thought. Well then, thank you all for listening to the Christmas special. It's a little more rambly than usual, but
Merry
Not that we
Christmas.
aren't rambly usually.
Yeah,
Right,
we're
right,
always
right.
rambly, but
a
this
little
was
less
less
specifically
guided.
guided towards a specific thing. But like, yeah, Merry Christmas from all of us on the Palladian Papist podcast. We appreciate you listening to us, and we wish you to have a most blessed Christmas with you and those you love. If going into the new year,
Want to make a resolution to listen to more of our episodes?
there you go.
Where can they find them?
They can find us on Spotify, Stitcher, Google Podcasts, and Apple Podcasts. You can check out our website if, you got to figure that out at playdandpapist.wixsite.com or something like that. We have to get a domain.
Domains are expensive, man. It's
Yeah,
not worth it.
even on Wix. This is a sponsor. And they can also follow us on Facebook and Twitter when I occasionally remember to make posts at Palapapists. And you can email us with your questions, comments, concerns, and complaints at palladiumpapists@gmail.com. So yeah. I don't know. Yeah. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas to all, and to all a good night.
And we'll be taking a little bit of a break. Actually, I think our next podcast will be after the new year.
We might have content for you next week. We could probably
we'll figure
arrange
it out.
that. You will see it if it's there.
Yeah.
If it's not, you won't.
Yeah. If not, it'll come out in the new year. So happy New Year, just in case. Goodbye.
Bye.
Goodbye.
Bye.